Hello there people, this is Christian. Welcome back to my computer and this image of what I think is a wooden handle for a bag or something. I suspect there's some type of metal thing going in here, and there's most probably a leather strap, and then there's bags or something you're carrying. It looks like a carrying handle. We do not know. This is from a Facebook question on how to recreate this in Fusion 360. And I'm doing some assumptions here. I suspect, I don't know, but I guess, or for simplicity when designing in Fusion, that this here is a simple arc, not a part of a ellipse or spline or anything. Makes it easier. And I suspect that the dimension from this point here, of a hole here, over to a hole here, is vital or important. We could of course also dimension it from the outside to outside as possible. And the height. And this is a very basic thing. If you like more advanced thing, look at my other videos. This is going to go through how I would get this shape into Fusion. So we're going to open up Fusion and show a couple of important things. I'm going to show my preferences. I have set a couple of them. Come on. There you are. Under design, I have set here scale entire sketch at first dimension. This means when I put in, if I do a sketch with no dimensions and then add my first dimension, the whole sketch scales and moves things around. It doesn't fly around things on the screen. And the second thing with here, auto hide sketch on feature creation is off. So when I do an extrude or something, the sketch stays visible. If you wonder what these are two important things I have changed. So let's have this. The plan for this is probably, the question was for 3D printing. So I will design it like we see. This is like seeing this from the top. The easiest direction for 3D printing would be this with this flat side or the bottom, like now, towards the heated print bed, or the heated print bed, or what type of printer you have. So let's have a look. We're going to create a sketch. So as I said, I want to look from the top. So we're going to create a sketch on the bottom plane. And so over here, my suspicion is that this is an arc shape, and in Fusion via Sketch Tool we have the slots, and among the slots we have two types of arc slots, center point and 3-point. I'm going to use the 3-point arc slot here. It's easier because otherwise it goes flying off the screen. So with the arc slots we start with the start point, the end point, and then we add the curvature. Let's do something like this. And the third thing we do is the size of a slot, or the width or the dimension of the ends, tangent arcs on each side. So just do it like this. We're going to do a line. This is just to lock down things. It's turn on construction lines because I don't want a normal line from here all the way over to here. It got a nicely horizontal constraint. If it doesn't get this constraint, you need to add the horizontal constraint. We can remove it like that. And we now add horizontal constraint like that. And then we do a midpoint from this line to the origin point here, so things doesn't go flying around. We're going to open up my browser, have a look. The sketch is still not fully defined because it's missing a lot of dimensions. As you can see, sometimes people get confused by this because this line turns black, like it's fully defined, but it's not really, because we can still change the dimension of things. So we're going to start adding dimension. Can you be something nicely? So I try to make it so it looks closely to the shape I have here, so things doesn't change too much. So we're going to start with our first dimension, which is an easy one. Image again. What is the width of this part? Grab a pair of calipers or something else. D on the keyboard for dimension from here to here. And this of course is the same all the way around because these two arcs are concentric. So I'm guessing it's around 10 millimeters. Looks like that. And you see the scale, the sketch auto scales and moves around a bit. Sometimes you need to move it back. Of course, it wants to show this center point down here for the arcs, which is not really interesting for this, but that's why there's a point out there. This is the center point for the arcs. Let's zoom in a bit. I now made a line from center point to center point of these two, and I suspect that these 2 points are interesting. Very easy to measure also on these. So I'm going to dimension from hole to hole, or from center from hole to hole. Let's do it like 130. Feels good. That's a nice dimension. We're starting to get things. So what we have left now is how much the arc is, and the easiest dimensions to take is to take this part, stand it up so it rests on this tangent point here, and measure the height from the tangent, or the connecting line, if you put it on the table, from this tangent point up to the top of the arc here. Can we do that in Fusion? Yes, we can, but we need some more geometry. Could we move this up slightly out of the way? You can't do tangent to tangent here, because it's going to just give us a stupid tangent over here. We need a line from here to here that are tangent to both these circles. So let's do a line. It's going to be a construction line. Yes, please. I'm just going to start by clicking on this. You see I get the cross. Show me I get the connection. So I get the coincident constraint with that. But you can see if you move it, you sometimes get the tangent constraint. What I simply do now, I hold down the shift button and the line will stay tangent to this. Now I need to zoom out so I can see both circles, so I'm going to redo the zoom. Hold down shift. You can see I got the tangent constraint on the left, moving over to here, and now I can find different. I can find the midpoint, I can find other points, and I'll also find that you can see the small tangent icon pops up. Click there, and automatically this lines becomes tangent to the two circles. I'm going to hit escape, turn off the line command, and moves this dimension out again. So by doing that, I don't need to first do the line and then add the tangent constraints. Now we're going to dimension. So we're going to dimension. Think this part is resting on the table. This line is the table. It's very easy to measure from here to the highest point of the handle. So D for dimension, but now we need to do right click and select pick circle arc tangent. Otherwise we'll pick the center point that's down below here. You can't see it right now. Pick tangent, select up here. You can see we get the cross here, and then this line down here. And let's say that is 25 millimeters, like that. I'm going to finish sketch. Yes, I did not do the two holes. I will do them later. So now we have a sketch. I'm going to hit E on my keyboard for extrude. I like to do things symmetric if they are. I might not do anything more here, but anyway, let's do it symmetric. Let's do it whole length, so we get the total width of a part. Let's look from front like this. Let's do it 15, and you can see it extrudes on both sides of the sketch. Hit OK, and you can see the sketch didn't auto hide, so I'm going to hide the sketch myself here and open up the browser like that. Can have a look. So we have a basic shape of a handle. We can now use hole command, or we can do a new sketch and sketch the two holes. We can use that. I prefer to do this sketch on the one of origin planes, so I know where it is. You can sketch of a face. I want to do that. Gonna hide the body for now and turn on another sketch. P for project in these 2 points. I'm just selecting the center points of arc. Hit OK, hide the first sketch. Gonna do 2 circles. Deliberately I make them really big. Use equal. Make these 2 equal. Please be equal. I'm gonna dimension D for dimension on the keyboard. And here, let's do it 2.5. I'm gonna type on my keyboard. I'm gonna finish sketch. Hit E on the keyboard for extrude. Find my 2 profiles. I still have a body hidden. 2 profiles. We can see 2 profiles. Turn on the body. Tell Fusion I want to do is symmetric and distance all. I'm just gonna cut through everything. And I hit OK. Yes, we could have done one and then mirror there, other possibilities. And now, not auto hide in sketching, hide the sketch. And we have something interesting. So this is now oriented correctly for 3D printing. And of course, we could add fillets, but for 3D printing, S on the keyboard for finding a command and start typing in SHA for chamfer. I would chamfer these 2 edges like 1 millimeter if you want to round them off. The 3D printing process will not make these edges that sharp anyway. So that is how I would recreate this, or take real world measurements and get them into Fusion with simple sketches. And you can do all of the sketching in one sketch. You want to do that. Sometimes I like to split things up. And of course you can name the sketches. Sorry, do not click like that. Base shape, and we can name this holes, so we know what they are. And we can of course also rename the body to, oops, handle. Like that. You will know where things are when you go back. Don't forget to save your files. And, you know, right click, save as mesh. If you're going to do a 3D printing, select the format you want to do it in, and 3D print the stuff. So, with that said, hope you might have found something useful here. With that said, take care, see you around, and goodbye.